This is all I'm craving today, so let's make some bulldog carbonara ramen.
I've been seeing these bulldog carbonara flavored noodles all over TikTok, all over social media.
First time trying bulldog!
Hi, my name is Livia Schultes. I'm a college student here at American University in DC. Like almost every other college kid, I spent a lot of my time scrolling on social media, doing assignments, and eating struggle meals. I watched bulldog ramen go from something you can only find in Asian supermarkets and just a regular type of food to a full-blown trend dominating TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and grocery stores. So I started wondering, how did a food rooted in Korean daily life end up becoming a viral trend in a college survival meal? To explore this topic, I'm using the academic lens of cultural exchange and globalization. By definition, cultural exchange is about the cultural knowledge and experiences between people from different backgrounds, heritage, ethnicities, and religions. In my instance, this is about when a cultural products like food cross borders. They don't stay the same. Instead, they pick up a new interpretations, new uses, and new meanings based on the culture that receives them. And bulldog is a perfect case study of this. In Korea, it's simply a part of Raemun culture, both spices, convenience, and comfort. But when it hits America's shelves and America For You pages, the meaning completely changes. Suddenly, it's about food. It's not about food anymore. It's about content, performance, comedy, and affordability. But wait. Before looking at how bulldog ramen changes meaning today helps to understand the bigger picture, how ramen itself became a global food long before bulldog went viral. Ramen didn't start as instant food as we know today. The story goes back to 19th century China, where wheat-based noodles made their way to Japan through merchants and immigrants. Japan adopted and reinvented the dish, adding broth-style toppings and regional variations. What started as Chinese lo mein slowly became Japanese ramen. The real turning point came in 1958 when Momofuku Ando invented instant noodles, something he made specifically to be cheap, fast, and accessible. Instant ramen wasn't designed to be gourmet, it was designed to feed everyday people quickly and affordably in post-war Japan. From there, ramen spread globally because it was shelf-stable, customizable, and cheap, and easy to mass-produce. This matters for my project because this food has always been shaped by global travel, adaptation, and reinvention. So when bulldog ramen shows up in the US as both a social media trend and a college student struggle meal, it's not random. It's a part of ramen's long history, moving across borders and changing identities. Before we jump into the scholarly research, let's test your ramen knowledge with a quick trivia question. 100 points on the line. Which of the following statements is true about instant ramen? A. The first ever instant noodle flavor was kimchi. B. Momofuku Ando invented instant noodles after watching people line up for hot soup. C. Instant ramen was originally marketed as a luxury food. Or D. The cup noodle was invented on accident. I'll give you a moment to think about it. The answer is B. With that background in mind, I started exploring what scholars say about noodles, spice, youth culture, and globalization, and what pieces of the conversation are still missing. The first thing I learned comes from Cho and Kwan's 2020 study, Mapping Spice Levels in Common Korean Foods. Their research shows that extremely spicy dishes are in everyday Korean cuisine. Heat isn't shocking, it's familiar. It fits into their routines, memories, and comfort food patterns. This means for Koreans, bulldog isn't extremely spicy. It's not a challenge, it's not content, it's not another spicy noodle with flavor, depth, and sensory complexity. The baseline feels completely different from how American students encounter it and feel with it. In the 2016 study on Korean American spice perception shows that taste is perceived by cultural familiarity. Koreans described spicy sauces, especially those with gochujang paste, with more nuance, recognizing layers of flavor beyond the heat. Americans, meanwhile, focus on mainly the intensity because they don't have the same flavor background. This tells us people don't recognize and react to the spice, they react to the cultural memories attached to it. So Korea, bulldog fits naturally into the long tradition of layered spicy dishes. In America, the same flavor profile lands on something extreme, unfamiliar, and performative. The sensory differences help explain why bulldog becomes an everyday comfort food in one culture and a challenge and a trend in another. And not the noodle that changed, it's the cultural palate interpreting it. This leads me to our second trivia question of the day. for 200 points. This Korean noodle became famous in the US not for its flavor but for the reaction video it inspires. I'll give you 5 seconds to answer. If you answered what is bulldog 2 times spicy sauce, you would be correct. The article, The Effect of Samyang Noodle Consumption, shows that extremely spicy Samyang noodles doesn't just feel intense. It triggers a physical reaction, including temporary watery eyes. That means bulldog isn't just a flavor challenge, it's a full body experience. This is important when we think about cultural exchange and globalization. When bulldog travels from Korea to global audiences, people aren't just encountering a new taste, they're encountering a new physical experience that they aren't culturally conditioned for, and that platforms like TikTok, those bodily reactions become a part of the entertainment. The noodle gets reinterpreted not only for the cultural meaning, but through how different bodies respond to it. Then I found the article, Exposure Pandemic Effect, Expert Boom in Instant Noodles from South Korea During COVID-19. This shows that South Korean ramen skyrocketed globally between people staying at home, needing affordable comfort food, and the worldwide boom of South Korean pop culture. Both sides had the perfect storm: high visibility, high demand, and high online shareability. The pandemic created a unique context where culture, global commodity flows, and physical comfort needs all intersected. Suddenly, a snack from Seoul could travel across the continent in both physical and digital form, becoming a part of global college culture almost overnight. But then I found research on Thai youth and instant noodles and their perceptions. This was eye-opening. They found that Korean noodles circulate through culture as symbols of modern connection and global identity. Eating them becomes a way of participating in media, trends, and global taste. But here's the interesting part. American cultures also uses noodles to signal identity, but the meaning shifts. For bulldog, it signals having a struggle meal, sharing a meal with your roommate, participating in a trend, proving your spice tolerance or their lack of, or being part of an internet culture. So while Thai youth use noodles to represent modern connection, American youth interpret bulldog as both identity, entertainment, and the connection. So when you put all this scholarship together, you get a layered explanation, but it still leaves you with one question. What group made ramen blow up in the United States? Based on my research, I would attribute this to college students. If not for TikTok Live, shops, duets, and sharing meals with college friends or roommates, or Gen Z online food culture and sharing your food with your stories or your posts, it wouldn't have made Bulldog Build to blow up as fast as it did and trended as much. So why does all this matter? Because Bulldog shows that globalization isn't abstract. It's lived, it's felt, and performed. It's revealed how young people actively participate in cultural exchange, turning a simple food product into a lens through which we can understand identity, humor, social bonding, and the global circulation of culture. Through Bulldog Ramen, we can see that everyday acts, eating, sharing, recording, performing, are ways that the cultural identity and global connections are created and sustained in real life time. Thank you so much for watching my video. Currently displayed is my cited sources.